Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Marcus, and I'm back again. And yes, I'm back because I got some very, very, very good news. Yes, I do. Listen here. So I'm at the park, and I would like for you, because some of you go to the park sometimes, and I'd like for you to just go back with me just for a moment. You go to the park alone, let the window down, maybe let your feet hang out, turn the music down real soft. Maybe you want to smoke, some of you, some medical marijuana, or some of you might just want to get buzzed. But you sit there and you imagine and you think. And where your heart is basically where your thoughts are going to go. But if your heart is on people, if your heart is on compassion, that's where your thoughts are going to go. And for someone who has spent their entire life thinking about people being relieved of the burdens that they've had to endure most of their lives, man, I'm telling you, take you some nice places. Anyway, this is where I found myself at, ladies and gentlemen, thinking about you. And it hit me, I was thinking about the reason that you, the American people and people of the world, do the kinds of things that you do is because you don't know any better. Now, I know you want to argue about that, about how genius you are and how smart you are, but the truth of the matter is, all of the hell that we're going through every day as individuals, as a community, as a state, as a nation, we are out of control. And so you want to think about how to get that control back. And I used to be up in the pulpit, and people used to ask me, pray to God that certain benefits they could get, a job or school benefits, or their husband would act right, wife would act right, stuff like this. So you do all that kind of stuff, but if you're really listening to God, God really got a way to deal with you, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say it one more time. God ain't fake. A lot of you just believe in God, so you don't know that God exists. You believe in God, so you're like a straw that's being blown by the wind. And so I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I said, Lord, I know they don't know any better, but why is it so complicated for them to catch on? And it's like a breath of fresh air. It came to me. The Spirit says, you, the American people, the people of the world, they don't know anything about godly living. Nothing about godly living. Who's going to teach them? Where are they going to get it from? Every nation that they grow up in, they are taught everything about that nation. Everything about that nation, even that nation's language. They want you to speak that language and no other language. So, how are they going to teach you about godly living? Who's going to teach you about godly living? I thought about that. I said, wow. Now that's even smarter and clearer than you not knowing any better. It's the same thing, but now it's the reason why you don't know better. You don't know better because there's nobody to teach you better. Ooh-wee. So that kind of made me feel a little bit, with a little less pressure, because now I don't have to get upset at you for doing the things that you don't know better to do. So I just have to be patient, share the word with you, and walk the walk, and be ready to take whatever the talk is. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this moment to share with you the godly living. You know everything about this living, America's living. You know everything about it. But let me share with you about the godly living. The godly living is this. The earth and all things that exist that we can say they exist is the result of invisible power. We can't see, can't touch, can't feel, and we can't emotionalize it. But the evidence of that power is that all that I've just shared is still here right before us. Even my voice in your hearing is right here. Now that power is responsible for our being here. The number one concern that we have, and that power made obvious, is that it's survival. Every last one of us, I don't care where we're at in the world, under the world, above, wherever we're at, our number one concern is survival. Now, the power that made us knew that. So that power provided for our survival. In this way, all the necessary resources necessary for the survival of man from the beginning of time throughout eternity has already been placed in the earth, on the earth, or above the earth. A lot of it is seen, a lot of it is unseen. Those are resources that will guide man throughout infamy. God has already provided that. Now, those are resources that's outside. God was responsible for that. But we need it. And so God, when we were created, God knew that we needed, or He wanted us, or we were going to participate in our survival. So each of us were given a career objective. We were given a goal. We were given something, we were touched with something that we would love to do, that would give us our greatest joy. It could be anything, any career, any job that is utilized within these United States of America or anywhere in the world, in all of its intricate parts, in its development. There is somebody who is doing it today. They're doing it because it is required to be done, but it was required to be done in the beginning, but to be done by those who love doing it for no other reason than they love doing it. Now, there are people doing it today for different reasons, but it was designed to be done by people who love doing it. So what does that mean? That means God created this earth, created us. We want to survive, put all of the resources somewhere around here, the knowledge and skills and desire within us, so that all of us can engage ourselves in the process of creating those goods and services that will meet our needs. And every last one of us are doing it. So every last one of us are participating in the outcome. It's like a team effort. It's like whoever wins the Super Bowl today, it's going to be a team effort. Everybody in that game going to win. Really, in God's game, there won't be a loser. And the score won't be tied, but everybody be a winner because they were playing. But for the purpose of this discussion, one of those teams are going to win. And it didn't matter what position, coach, manager, fullback, the team wins, everybody wins. Everybody gets a ring. That's the way it is in life. All of us participate. All of the resources come back. As they come back, it's like the ring that everybody receives. And you get carte blanche. What does that carte blanche mean? It means, what does it mean today? Hey, you know what it means. You got it. You can go anywhere and get anything you want. So now every American, now every individual on the face of the earth, by participating in the process, have carte blanche. So anything that you desire, want, or need is yours. Food, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare, transportation, vacation, recreation, all of your imagination, and all of the different things you can do. That is heavenly living. Now the result of that is that there will be peace. There will be freedom. There will be prosperity. There will be joy of life. And all of your dreams will be met. There won't be no lying. There won't be no cheating. There won't be no stealing. There won't be no crime. There won't be no violence. There won't be no poverty. There won't be no what you call haves and have-nots. There won't be no racism. There won't be no bigotry. There won't be no hatred. There won't be terror and murder and war, and all of that stuff is gone. That stuff exists because you're living under a different order of things. Now, in the beginning, the way I just described was the plan for humans living on earth. It has not changed. It is still the same requirement. Before I told you a moment ago, you didn't know what I just shared with you. Those of you who have listened to me, you don't have an excuse. You might not listen, you might not follow it, but at least you heard it. My job was to share it with you and to walk according to what I share with you before you. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, whether you're living in democracy, Whether you're living in socialism, whether you live, all of these different isms, ladies and gentlemen, they are nothing but distractions. They are like con games. You remember the thing about Enron and how those people got up investing? You remember all of the scams that you ever heard about, the pyramid scams and that? This is the same thing. This is the same game that the mobs play. All systems of the world are scams. They are exploits. Now, all of those things that were just identified for your survival are real. They know they are for real. But rather than you just having carte blanche because you had so much fun making this stuff, they want to control and manipulate you and take away your carte blanche and tell you you need money instead of carte blanche. That way they control the money, they control who gets it, they control how much you get it, they can control when you get it, they control when they increase stuff and when to take stuff away. They just control your life with money. And that's exactly what they want to do. That's exactly what they're doing. And they've always done it because you never knew. And you might say, well, how come we didn't know? The Bible says, I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, the Bible is nothing but a bunch of printed words. Let me say it again. The Bible is nothing but a bunch of printed words. And it has only the meaning of the one that's interpreting it. Only the meaning of the one that's interpreting it. And if it is from God, why and how can you interpret it? I mean, if it was from God to you, why put you in a position that you got to have somebody interpret for you, or you don't know whether you got it right, when God can talk to you just like he talked to them? And if God is speaking to you through some other method other than them, that ain't God talking to you. That's why you in all this hell, and all of the people talking to you about God don't know one thing about the godly living. Every one of those people who talking to you about God, especially in these organized churches, every last one of them that's talking to you about God are really preaching the system. In America, they talk to you about God, but they're really preaching democracy. They are really preaching socialism someplace else. They are really preaching conservative, liberalism, republic, Democrats. That's what they're preaching. Confusion, scam, a con game. So, ladies and gentlemen, all of our lives, I don't care how rich you are, how poor you are, I don't care what color you are, what gender you are, whether you're straight or gay, all your whole entire life, you've been living in a con. You've been living in a con. How do you switch from the con to that which is real? What happened to Enron? He was exposed. And when he was exposed, he was brought down by a power higher than that crooked power. But the power that I'm telling you about right now, ladies and gentlemen, comes from an invisible source. And you got this con game who have given themselves the power to put you in jail, to call you dogs and snakes and all kinds of things. They got the wherewithal to investigate you, to hide, to expose every little ugly thing you never wanted to see, just to keep you in line. And if that don't work, they will kill you just to keep you in line. That is what is required, ladies and gentlemen. All the things that I just explained to you, that's what is required to give life to a lie. That's what is required to give life to a lie. What you have just gone through with the President of the United States in this impeachment, a whole bunch of lies. You got a certain amount of information or other information was hid so the lie can keep on going. And then when it got in the hands of people like the Senate, they chose to say, forget it, we don't care, we're going to keep him going. Why? Because he allowed us to have what? To have money, the source of acquiring all of those resources that you say we can get with carte blanche. The only problem is not everybody gonna have the money to get all the stuff, and so when you don't, you're upset, you're mad. You going to churches, you taking out your gun, you pissed off. Somebody bullet you, you shooting them. You're down the street, you see some cars driving down the street, you're so mad, you just shooting at cars. People get in front of you on the highway. You want to start some stuff and shoot them on the highway. Why? Because you're angry. Because you're living in hell. And all it's generating in you is anger and madness and frustration. No peace. Because you're living in hell in a con game. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I really wanted to talk to you for about 6 minutes. And it's been almost 7:16. Let me let you go. I hope I helped you. What is it? What is it? Nobody taught you the godly way of living. So how can anybody expect you to act like that? Bye-bye.